Hi, it's Hans. Ooh, it's a hot one today where I live. Very warm. Looks like nearly 90. It's mid-September. Like the still heavy-duty summer. Very hot. I was sitting in the sun quite a bit, and then took a long walk earlier. So, yeah, I'm gonna get busy, do some thinking, do some planning, do some writing. Thought I'd talk to you a minute about what are some of the guiding principles of being a happier man. Well, it's a big topic, but I think if you really would, you could probably break this down into smaller bites so it doesn't have to be so complicated. To me, it would mean you're doing things you like to do, and you're with people you like to be with, and there's not anything going around. You're not in any circumstance that is causing you a lot of misery. So let's say when I was married, my wife was causing me a lot of misery. She was verbally abusive. She was mean to me. She was criticized, badgered, belittled, all of that on nearly daily basis for many years. So I wasn't happy about that. And even though I tried to tell her to stop, and I tried to love her more, and I tried to agree with her more, and try to do the things she said, nothing ever seemed to work. So it was an impossible situation for me to be happy when I was living and being married to a woman who was treating me badly. So that's kind of the biggest principle, I guess, is you can't be married to a woman who's treating you badly and expect to have any kind of a good life. That's the number one principle. Everything else, nothing else matters if you're married to a bad woman. You won't be able to do anything. Nothing else will bring you any pleasure. Anything normal that would bring men pleasure, wonderful children, good looking, even if she's good looking and good in bed, nice in-laws, good relationships with other people, a good job, making money, hobbies, interests, your sports team doing well, a nice house, a good car. See, all of that only comes if you have a good wife and a good marriage, or you easily get that do that without being married. I've chosen to be escaped, to leave, to live on my own. I find it so much easier to live a happier life without taking care of another person. So you might want to give that some serious thought. That's, let's say, the easiest way. To me, it's the best way. Certainly you can go out with girls, you can go out on dates, you can have some man-woman fun, the affection. I love all that too. Nothing I like more than meeting a girl and kissing her and having sex with her and all that kind of stuff. But I do draw the line at her bossing me around and telling me how to be, how to think, how to do things, and spending all my money trying to make her happy, and then she's still not happy. You see where that's going? That's like principle number one. Principle number two is related to that, in that a simpler life is better. It's easier to have a good life if you kind of cut out all the stuff that makes it complicated. And certainly, because it's related, if you have a bad wife, your life is going to be complicated beyond belief. She's going to be getting into all kinds of mischief and drama for no reason, and that you'll have to spend enormous amounts of energy trying to get out of. Well, you don't want that. That's no way to have a simple life. I know there's stuff on my site about being organized, how to organize yourself. Some men are kind of on the disorganized side, but it's usually because they haven't learned how to cut out all the stuff they don't need to do, and they don't say no to all the stuff that they don't have to do. Like, you don't have to get involved with every group that comes along. You don't have to do all kinds of things. You don't have to keep going to college. You don't have to keep going out for sports. You don't have to be in every club and every group and every committee. You don't have to do any of that. That makes your life a whole lot easier when you learn how to say no. And you're going to have to learn how to say no gracefully, so you're not always, there may be some things that you want to be involved in, so you like to keep the door open. But yeah, learn to say no. Learn how to stop doing things that waste all your time. The other thing to say no to is just the powers that be like to keep us busy on stuff that does nothing for our lives. Like, we'll be spending a lot of time worrying about politics and what the government is up to, kind of pitting one another against each other, and going to rallies and voting and getting upset, hating your neighbors because they're a Democrat or a Republican, right? There's a lot of that going on nowadays. I think there always has been. It's just kind of reported on more. But yeah, and you get enraged about what somebody posts on the internet, decide to not be friends with them. But if you really think about it, all of that negativity and divisiveness, that comes from the top, not us. You and me listening to this, we're not at the top. We're not presidents and CEOs of huge companies. We're not worldwide bankers, right? Those are the people in control telling us how to do things and skewing things so they kind of force us to do them. But that's where I get back to the saying no. Just because 100 people are telling you what to do doesn't mean you have to do it. You can say no to all of that stuff. All of it. On the same token, you don't have to watch the news. Certainly it's nice to stay a little bit informed, but most of the news is not going to help you at all. I mean, maybe if there's a tornado bearing down on you, you might want to know about it, but usually you can just look outside and see, oh man, it looks like a tornado's coming, right? They announce themselves by, with their presence. Same with the hurricane. Yeah, those are like guiding principles, right? The relationships, learning how to say no. Another one would be taking care of yourself. Well, a lot of that has to do with getting involved with the wrong things and wasting your time on the wrong efforts, and then you don't have time to take care of yourself, because taking care of yourself takes a lot of time, and it takes money too. Taking care of yourself well is extremely expensive. That's why you'll see the richest people in the world are the ones who live the longest, because they use all that money to keep themselves alive. And the poorest people, of course, die a little on the young side, just run out of money. So anyway, you should be spending quite a bit of your money on keeping yourself healthy, doing what's good for you, taking care of yourself, healing. A lot of it has to do with healing. When I left my wife, I basically had to sleep extra for months, trying to get back to some semblance of health. I was shell shocked. I was battered. It was almost like being a prisoner, a mental torture. And I needed time to heal. And I'm still healing. It takes a long time to heal. It's a lifetime effort when you've been battered and bruised and beaten. You still ache. You still have the wounds. Some of the wounds take a long time to heal. So that's it. You got to leave time for yourself to heal, to rebuild, to regroup, to think, to reflect, to do things you like to do. All of these things are so critical to you being a happier man. It's all for now.